now you're going to have uniform enforcement. Is it going to be Phoenix or Mesa or Chandler, who I used to work with in Ford, wash their hands and say, hey, this is a federal problem? What we have realized is that no longer can we look at this purely as a federal issue. We live here. We are affected by the high measure of crime and violence in our counties. I just shared with you at length what has happened in Pinell County specifically over the last 4 to 6 months. This is real. We're not making this stuff up. What more is it going to take? Do we have to find other drug smugglers killed as they battle this out in our desert here just south of Metro Phoenix? What more examples do we need? One of my deputies not only was shot, we had another deputy who was, we just pinned a Purple Heart on him and a life-saving medal on a Casa Grande police officer when they were pursuing a known felon who was a suspect for homicide who was an illegal here. And they had crashed as they were trying to catch this fleeing felon, and they went into one of the canals here in Casa Grande area, and my deputy would have drowned because he was unconscious, head underwater, unless this Casa Grande police officer saved his life. So this is what we're facing. When people already have crossed that threshold, breaking our laws, it isn't like the majority of these illegals here. I do get the fact that they want to work here, enjoy the freedoms of America, but they're doing so illegally. I'm most concerned as a law enforcement official that 17% who are coming here who already have established a criminal record in Arizona. That's the problem, and that poses a very serious threat to our safety. So it's when you have these people who aren't the best from these other societies who are coming here, do we have a right to choose and select who comes into America? I believe we do as a sovereign nation. And what we're hearing here is no from the federal government. That's the wrong answer. And I think the only way, because they've ignored this issue and have used it as a political football, well, we're gonna take the football back, and we're gonna have other people step up and lead this fight, and to do what's right for Arizona and for America, to bring true border security.
I'm frustrated in the sense that whenever anyone opposes this type of legislation, they always preface their comments with "it may," "it might," "it could." I'm tired of people just dealing with possible emotion. They need to concentrate on the facts. Look at the bill for what it is. It's a law enforcement bill. It's designed to facilitate officers in their pursuit of criminals. That's what the bill is all about. And that's what we need to recognize it and treat it for what it realistically is. Then that will make me very happy when people start doing that.
I'd like to give another example. One of my deputies, Will Gleason, who is trained, I only have 15 of my deputies and detention officers who are trained in the highly successful 287G program through ICE, where they're cross-certified with the federal immigration status. So they're acting as federal agents in that capacity as local law enforcement. There's 214 deputies in Pinell County that dressed just like this, that wear a badge, carry a gun, and out there in the community, Will Gleason had stopped the vehicle with people who were giving fictitious names, fake IDs, and he felt something was hanky going on here. And he had called the Border Patrol and ICE. ICE wouldn't come out, okay? So Will, who was trained in this, started to ask some other questions. And this is when all that problem with the ICE was given Sheriff Joe and says, well, I know you've got your 287G certified deputies that are up there, but they have to call us first to see if they'll get permission. And they did that for about a week or two till they reconsidered and changed their mind and said, okay, yeah, you do have the authority to do that. This was during that little neutral position that was going on. So my deputy Gleason had called ICE and they says, no, just give them a little piece of paper and have them show up in court so they'd never show up in court. So to Deputy Gleason, to his great credit, because he knew something wasn't right here, called the Border Patrol. The Border Patrol came out and started asking questions and ran these people. The driver of that vehicle, all of them were illegal. The driver of that vehicle was a convicted sex offender in Arizona. And the others there were 2 other warrants for their arrest for these other people. Of course they're going to lie to police. Of course they're going to give us a fake identification. That's a crime in itself, but we couldn't prove this. So here now, all of our officers, 214 of our deputies now can start to ask these questions. Because this is where these criminals and these lawbreakers exploit the seam in the law. And we can no longer afford to do that. And that's how these people skate by and get on